What's up, guys? Travis with TCustomz Productionz, TCustomz.com. Back with week 3 of the Throwback Thursday beat breakdown series, where I'm going back revisiting some older tracks from my stash, digging back into the sessions and kind of talking through them a little bit. This track is from the TCustomz Beat Tape Volume 2, like the past 2 weeks have been. The track is called Listen, and it's another sample-based track. I want to preview a little bit of what the sample sounds like first, and then just kind of get into how the beat was formulated. Alright, so some of the chops. Basic filtering, delay, and a little bit of automated panning just to kind of bounce around the stereo field. This is what the first sample sequence sounds like. Some of the sample chops that I used for the second sequence. Hear a little reverse on that. So after the 2 sample sequences, I went ahead and drug in a drum break, which this track is only at 73 BPM, but I went ahead and time stretched it a little bit to make sure that it synced up. I did use a high pass filter, but I'm also using a plugin called Drum Loop Divider. It's native in the Ableton Live suite. It's under the Audio Effects, Audio Effect Rack Performance, and DJ, and it's called a Drum Loop Divider, and it kind of does the same deal as it allows you to isolate frequencies, and so you can isolate your kick, snares, and hi-hats through the Drum Divider plugin. If you haven't experimented with that and you've been using Ableton Live, another cool little plugin you might want to try out, especially when you're trying to separate your drum breaks, divide your drum breaks. So for the kick, I've got a couple kicks layered from some stock kits. Sound like that. I've also got one of the kicks processed with a drums kick compressor, which is a native compressor in Ableton Live suite. The snare I've done a lot too. I've got 4 drum tracks layered to make the snare. So you got that, you got a rim shot. Some of these were processed separately. I've got reverb on select tracks, I've got compressors on certain tracks, I've got EQs on certain tracks, the drum break, the sample sequences, the kick and snares. In addition to the break, I also layered my own little programmed hi-hat pattern. I didn't use any kind of groove for this. I actually just kind of emulated my own groove. I varied velocities. I didn't keep anything on the grid. You can kind of hear that velocity change. So next, after all these elements, the bass sound. Now, many of you guys know I use Spectrasonics Trillion to create a lot of my custom bass patches. Prior to Trillion, it was Spectrasonics Trilogy, and in this particular session, I'm using Trilogy. I still have that plugin installed. A lot of the similar type of bass sounds. This is actually a live. Put a low pass filter on that, so I'm not getting as much of the highs. Pretty straightforward pattern. And then one other thing that I did after a few of these sequences alternated, I have a little breakdown, a little after the 2-minute mark. I just took a little phrase, a little loop from the sample. And you can hear the beat drops again, and it plays out for a little bit longer. So that wraps up another Throwback Thursday beat breakdown for week 3. This track is called Listen. It's included in the TCustomz Beat Tape Volume 2, and a link with all those tracks will be listed in the description below. You can always connect with me on Facebook, Twitter, all the social media will be linked there too. And if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for the support. I will see you guys next week. Peace.
Custom.
This is a TCustomz Productionz.